There's something quietly powerful about growing onions. For thousands of years, across ancient civilizations from Egypt to Asia, onions have been a staple not just in cooking, but in survival itself. They were carried by traders, buried with kings, and planted by generations who understood their true value. Today, that same humble crop can transform your garden into a reliable, productive space that keeps giving season after season. If you've ever wanted to grow something that is both beginner-friendly and deeply rewarding, onions are exactly where you should start. Stick with this guide, because by the end, you'll know the full journey from soil to harvest and how to do it right. Before we dive in, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to Evergreen Patch so you never miss practical real-world gardening guides like this. Now let's get straight into it. The foundation of a successful onion harvest begins with the soil, and this is where most growers either set themselves up for success or failure. Onions thrive in loose, well-drained soil that allows their bulbs to expand easily without resistance. Heavy clay soil will suffocate the bulbs, while overly sandy soil may not retain enough nutrients. The ideal balance is loamy soil enriched with organic matter such as compost or well-rotted manure. Before planting, loosen the soil to at least 8 inches deep and mix in organic material thoroughly. The pH level should sit between 6.0 and 7.0, slightly acidic to neutral, which helps onions absorb nutrients efficiently. If your soil is too acidic, adding lime can correct it, while sulfur can help lower a high pH. Choosing how to plant your onions depends on your patience and your goals. You can grow onions from seeds, sets, or transplants, but for most gardeners, onion sets offer the easiest and fastest route. Sets are small, partially grown bulbs that establish quickly and reduce the risk of failure. Plant them about 1 inch deep with the pointed end facing upward and space them roughly 4 inches apart. Rows should be at least a foot apart to allow airflow and easy maintenance. If you're planting from seed, expect a longer growing period, but also a wider variety of onion types to choose from. Watering onions is not complicated, but, consistency is everything. Onions have shallow roots, so they really depend on regular moisture in the top layer of soil. The key is to keep the soil evenly moist but never waterlogged. Too much water can cause rot, while too little will stunt growth and lead to small bulbs. A good rule is to provide about 1 inch of water per week, adjusting based on rainfall and temperature. As the bulbs begin to mature, you should gradually reduce watering to prevent excess moisture from affecting storage quality after harvest. Feeding your onions properly is what, honestly, turns average growth into a strong, healthy yield. Onions are heavy feeders, especially when it comes to nitrogen in their early stages. Nitrogen supports the development of lush green tops, which directly contribute to bulb formation. Apply a balanced fertilizer at planting, then follow up with nitrogen-rich feeding every 2 to 3 weeks during the early growth phase. However, once bulbs begin to form, it's important to reduce nitrogen levels and switch to a more balanced approach. Too much nitrogen at this stage will encourage leafy growth at the expense of bulb size. Pest control is one of those areas where early attention saves you from major problems later. Common onion pests include thrips and onion flies, both of which can damage leaves and reduce yields. The simplest defense is regular inspection. Look for silvery streaks or curling leaves, which may indicate thrips, and act quickly using organic insecticidal soap or neem oil. Crop rotation is another powerful tool. Avoid planting onions in the same spot year after year to break pest cycles. Good spacing and airflow also reduce the risk of fungal diseases, which can spread quickly in crowded or damp conditions. As the season progresses, your onions will begin to signal when they are ready for harvest. The most obvious sign is when the green tops start to yellow and fall over naturally. This is not a problem. It's the plant telling you it has completed its life cycle. Once about half the tops have fallen, it's time to stop watering and allow the bulbs to dry in the soil for a few days if the weather is dry. Then gently pull them out and lay them in a warm, well-ventilated area to cure. Curing is a step that many beginners overlook, but it is essential for long-term storage. Leave the onions to dry for 2 to 3 weeks until the outer skins become papery and the necks tighten. This process seals the bulbs and prevents rot during storage. Once cured, trim the roots and cut the tops, or braid them if you prefer a traditional method. Store your onions in a cool, dry place with good airflow, and they can last for months. Growing onions is not just about producing food, it's about mastering a process that has stood the test of time. From preparing the soil to curing the final harvest, every step connects you to a tradition that stretches back centuries. And the best part is, once you get it right, onions become one of the most reliable crops you can grow year after year,